So like most Fords from the 90s, this particular car has got a fair bit of rust on it. This car's actually spent a couple of years abroad in Spain, so as far as these cars go, it's actually not too bad. But as you're about to see, there's still a fair bit of rust on the underside. So we're going to do the rust treatment today to try and prolong the life of the car a little bit. So just jacking it up here, obviously use a point that's not too rusty. And now we see the, one of the offending areas. Seems to be the front sills just behind the front wheel arch on both sides that's particularly prone to rust. Now you can see here, I've realised the wing is actually pulling away from the chassis. Basically the wing's going to need a replacement at some point, so I'm not worrying too much about the wing. I'm just going to pull it out of the way so that I can treat behind it. So now we're looking at the rear wheel arch. There's a little bit of plastic trim that runs around the wheel arch, and you can clearly see there's rust under it, so I thought I'd better take it off. This screw looked pretty unhappy, so I thought I'd give it a little squirt of WD-40. I did manage to get it out, but I'm always worried about rounding off these screws, particularly ones on the lower side of the car, because they do attract a lot of rust. So now we can see underneath the plastic trim. So not actually as bad as I thought, but there is a little bit of rust developing around the edges and where the clips are. So now I'm just brushing out the inside of the wheel arch there, try and get all the loose debris out and any loose rust. Now I've returned back to the front wheel arch. This is probably the worst patch on the car. It is actually very solid under the wing, surface rust. So I'm gonna treat this bit, and we'll look at getting a new wing later. So it's really important to get all of the loose flakes off, really rub it back as far as you can, all the way along, anywhere there's rust that's going to be treated. Now I'm just washing it. It says in the instructions for the Vactan that surfaces should be free of oil, grease, also salt. Apparently salt prevents the action of the rust conversion. So I've got soapy water here. It's just a bit of dishwasher liquid, washing up liquid. Just really giving it a good clean, just all of the areas where I'm going to treat. So I'm going to give it a good clean all the way along. The reason I'm using dish soap for this rather than a proper car cleaning product is that generally the car cleaning products are designed not to dissolve wax and stuff like that, and we want something that would dissolve oil-based waxes and anything that might be on the surface there that would prevent the rust treatment from working. Make sure we get that wheel arch as well, plenty of water on there. Now just rinsing it with just plain water. Just want to get all that soap off as well, because we don't want that interfering with the rust treatment. So here's the rust treatment that I'm using. Vactan. It's a professional product, but just any rust converter would do. Basically what it does is it mixes with the surfaced rust and polymerizes, turns into a plastic, and that protects the rust from further rusting. So on the instructions for Vactan it says you want 40 microns thick. I have absolutely no idea how thick 40 microns will look, so I'm just going to paint it on. and because it's quite rusty, I'm going to paint quite a lot on. It actually says on the instructions for Vactan that you don't actually have to wait for the surfaces to fully dry out before you apply it. Presumably it's water based anyway, so like I say, I did dry the surfaces a little bit, partly because drying actually also helps to clean off any remaining dirt, but I did dry the surfaces, but I didn't wait for them to get completely dry. So with this area in the front footwell, particularly bad, I'm just going to make sure to really get that Vactan right the way into every nook and cranny. Now you can see the whole driver side sill from front to back. I've pretty much treated all the way along. Generally they say don't paint over paint, but I'm not going to chip all the paint off here, so just covered it all over. So subscribe for the next instalment where we'll be coating the underside with underbody protection.